Oh, I have a question for you, and you may not have an answer to this, and you can just tell me that you may not. But we obviously know that President Trump was taking a hard stance on China, and he was investigating. Right? He started an investigation into the Wuhan lab, which now it's pretty clear the media is saying, oh, it's possible, which means it's likely because they really don't want to admit that it's possible. But this remains to be seen. And Joe Biden ended the investigation. Were you ever around the president or involved in any way with that investigation? How?
Sure, I was. In fact, my co-host on Uncovering the Truth on Sunday afternoons, Dr. Maria Ryan, is the first to have interviewed Dr. Yan.
Right.
And before the interview, we spent time with her alone. She's the doctor who really broke the whole thing. The one who was sent in by the Chinese government. Really, she had no knowledge. She was just sent in to take a look at it. And in 3 days, she figured out this came from the laboratory.
Right.
And then they pulled her off it. She could never determine whether it was a biological weapon or it was a mistake.
Right.
But in any event, it definitely 100% came from the laboratory. Quickly, she knew she was going to be killed. The other woman who had brought it out suddenly disappears.
Right.
And so she ran away. She happened to go with people that we know very well, and she was very nervous about her interview on Tucker Carlson. So we interviewed her about 3 days before to get her ready, and we put her on radio on a Sunday morning. And she revealed this thing, and my goodness, I got all kinds of criticism, and then of course Tucker Carlson did, that we were creating I don't know, this was a Chinese narrative, I guess, or a Russian narrative, or something. We were lying. Right. It wasn't true.
Yeah.
I mean, then the evidence just built up and built up and built up. There is no doubt it comes from that laboratory. There is even a question about it. I mean, first of all, they said it came from a bat. There are no bats in Wuhan. They're 1,000 miles away. And the particular bat they blamed it on was in hibernation at that time of year.
Right.
So, this would have to be the one unusual bat that didn't need hibernation and flew 1,000 miles.
Right, yeah. He also has a tool belt.
Number two, after Dr. Yan, Dr. Ryan, my co-host, had other doctors look at it. And when you're not on camera and you're not worried about getting thrown off by YouTube.
Oh, well, right now we're not on YouTube, so I don't give a rat's. You can say it.
Or whatever. If you're not worried about that, the doctor will tell the truth. Everything here indicates that this came out of the laboratory. That this is not, unlike Fauci's lying for so long, where he said came out of. He's changed his mind now.
Yes.
Well, actually, if you think about it, Fauci's changed his mind on everything.
He's changed his mind on everything.
I shouldn't even mention him.
Yeah.
But Fauci used to say, "Oh, this comes from nature." Now, listen to what he's saying. Oh, most likely comes from the laboratory. People were saying that 8 months ago. We were saying that 8 months ago.
Hey, can I ask you?
That's what was said to Dr. Ryan 8 months ago on the air.
Can I ask you a legal question, an important legal question here about Dr. Fauci before you go on? Because obviously everyone knows the debate with Rand Paul, where he said no, there was no gain of function testing, and obviously what Senator Rand Paul was saying was there was NIH funding going to the Wuhan Institute, right, and there was gain of function testing going on there, and Dr. Fauci said no, and he also said this originated in nature. Did he potentially commit perjury?
Could be, sure. I mean, here's his defense. I say everything. Depends on the time.
Yeah.
He'll have statements where he said that it was from nature. He'll have statements where he said it came from the lab. He'll have statements where he says, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Wear 3 masks. No, don't wear a mask.
Right.
Wear a special mask. No, you don't have to wear a mask at all. I mean, the reality, you can get it from a surface. You can get it from a surface. No, you can't get it from a surface.
Right.
The guy is a guy who, I'm sorry, he may be making $800,000 a year and whatever else he makes on the side, but you can't rely on him. And he's like a bad weatherman.
Yes, that's a perfect way to describe it. A bad weatherman responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths.
Ruining our country.
Yeah. Ruining our country. Not only lives lost, but obviously livelihoods generationally.
Well, If we overdid that lockdown, which we did,
of course,
largely because of him and the hysteria that he created, we killed people. Yeah. I mean, there was always a cost to the lockdown. The lockdown, even if, let's assume you had to do it, you still had to be aware of the fact that there's a countervailing damage that you're doing.
Right.
People aren't going to go for checkups. They're going to die. Every once in a while, somebody walks into a doctor's office and they discover they're 1 day away from a heart attack.
Right.
Well, these people didn't go to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So they're dead.
No.
Sometimes cancer's got to be picked up and it's got to be treated right away. That didn't happen.
Right.
Depression, suicide, and who knows how many other diseases untreated. Yeah. Now, if in fact it's as bad as they said it was and it couldn't be contained any other way, then you do it. But after a month or two, it was pretty obvious, and the president got it, that we were overdoing it. We were doing it for everybody, and we really needed it for the population over 60.
Right.
And schools never had to be closed. Never, ever, ever, ever. They've been closed except for Catholic schools and some private schools. In my state, schools haven't been open in a year and a half.
Right.
What do you think is happening to these kids? There used to be a time when I was mayor when we tried to avoid snow days because a lot of kids wouldn't be fed if they didn't go to school that day. What do you think happened for a year and a half?
And as a kid, I hated mayors like you because I was watching the TV to see that my school was closed, scrolling across the screen, and because of mayors like you, I had to go. So let's make this clear.
I better amend that. I don't know, but I mean the reality is, all these phony liberal Democrat mayors, obviously they don't care about the kids eating.
Right. No, they really don't.
And now we know the schools aren't open because the teachers union really dominates the Democrat Party.
Oh, of course. It's not even close.
They tell them, I mean, I've had Democrats here running for mayor that wanted to open the schools. The teachers union visit with them. It reminded me of when Fat Tony Salerno would visit with you.
Yeah.
You know, the candidate would come out with broken kneecaps and say, the schools should stay closed forever. The schools should stay closed forever. Whenever Randy Weingarten wants to open them, what do I say? Yes, whenever Randy Weingarten thinks it's safe, we can open the schools.
Right.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.